This is the shop's D-28 1941 authentic. It's been in a lot of videos. The reason we're looking at it right now is because I just did a video with using this guitar where I was talking about how to read your guitar and the effects of humidity. And I said that this guitar was a little bit over-humidified. And I commented on the fact that in my humble experience, many times when the instrument is a little bit over-humidified and then brought back down to correct humidity, or even a little bit on the dry side, in other words, that a lot of times it suddenly sounds really good. And my hypothesis is that when it's over-humidified, the cells get squished. Because, you know, I talk about it in the video, but you're inside a box and you can only go so far. The cells get squished and then it gets dried out again. And it is effectively then a drier guitar than it was before we started. And I've observed this at least a couple of times now. There's something else I can say. Anyway, when this guitar got back down to the correct humidity and the action went back down, and I documented everything that happened to the top and the sides and all that, and it's in the previous video talking about the humidity. I got this guitar and played it again, and I could not believe, honestly, how much better it sounded. And maybe it's just my imagination, but I've had this guitar for 2 years, and it's just never really impressed me. It sounded good, but it's always been kind of like, it needs about 20 years to really open up. But I played it the other night, and it was like, wow, this thing, the response. It's not, I don't know about the sound so much, that the microphone's the judge of that, but the response is just phenomenal now. I barely hit it, and it just rings. It's so much more like that 1934 D-28, and it had that response to it. So I thought I would just document that and play this guitar a little bit and talk about how I thought it opened up. First of all, for you guys that had not seen this guitar before, D-28 1941 authentic. It's a 2013 model, which means it's 11 years old, and Madagascar rosewood back and side. Just get up close on that. Red spruce top, of course. This one's in just excellent condition. I've had it for, like I said, about 2 years. But what I noticed upon playing this thing again was especially the rhythm sound. I just was like, wow, man. Not even just a low rumble, but it was clear. It's clear now, and the bass is better, but the bass is clear. And that's why I like it better, because it's not muddy now. I always thought it was a little bit of a muddy guitar, and now it's just so open and clear. So let me play some rhythm.
also think the trebles are better, which again goes along with my thing about the bass sounding better, more open, more clear. The trebles are just really good now. Of course, you heard a lot of that on the song that I played when we opened up, but it's quite a deal here. I have seen this happen a couple times. I've seen it happen in mandolins. I've seen it happen in guitars. And like I said in that other video, you're playing a little bit of a dangerous game by intentionally drying your guitar. I remember what I was going to say. In my experience, guitars and two-stroke dirt bikes sound their best right before they blow up. A two-stroke dirt bike needs to be on the lean end of the things where the response is just immediate and it just runs hard. And it'll run hard and it's running hot too. And that's when they blow up. So you want to go to the point where they're going to blow up, and then you're going to come back just a little bit to where you're safe. But like if this was completely safe right here, it'll run best here. This is where it's going to blow up. And you need to pull it about right here, somewhere between totally safe and somewhere between blowing up. And that's where you have a comfortable margin of optimizing your safety versus your blowing up. And in my experience, guitars, mandolins, stringed instruments are kind of the same way. I think they sound better, they respond better when they're a little bit on the dangerous side, just a little bit on the dry side. And in that video, I showed you how to read your guitar so that you can read it. Make sure you're not going too far, make sure you're not getting it too dry. But I think if you run it just a little on the dry side there, instead of 50% humidity, you run it at 35% humidity, and you're going to watch your guitar and you're going to make sure you don't blow it up. But if you run it at that 35%, I think you're going to find it sounds better, if you can, because you guys that live in 80% humidities, climates of 80% humidity, there's not so much you can do. But for those of us out here in the western United States, we can add humidity and we can subtract it, and so we can play with the guitar. And so I really thought this guitar sounded better when it got over-humidified and dried back down again. So put the capo on here now. It's just, wow, man. plays great. Responsive, so responsive. The action's perfect now too. And so I just thought I would come back and show you this guitar and talk about it. And it's really impressing me right now with the way it sounds. Which before, like I said before, it's never really, it's been good, but not super impressive. And now it's impressive. Seems like the higher I go in the capo, the more it just barks. It's really responding to the trebles in a way that it just didn't do before. So, gosh, I'm super impressed with this guitar now. So, I just wanted to follow up on that and show that I think I've got something to my hypothesis that if you get the guitar wet, or the mandolin wet, you get it wet and then dry it back out again. And again, watch it, learn how to read the guitar so you don't overdo it and blow the thing up. And this has got a long ways to go before it blows up, You don't worry about that, It didn't even get close to showing a corduroy ripple or anything like that. So I didn't even get close. I turned it down. If this was the totally safe zone, 50%, I bet I turned it down about right there, And so, what a guitar. I spent about an hour playing it the other night just because it was just astonishing. And I was playing, and I swear it opened up another notch. It really made me like sit back a second. I thought a brace had come loose or something. Usually when something like that happens, it gets thuddy and flappy. But I literally took the mirror up here and I stuck it back in there and I checked around. And man, everything was good and tight. But I'm playing it and it just whoop, and wow, everything just cranked up. So let's do one more and then call it a day.